Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set in darkness in Dublin, uh, chronicle for Vampire the Masquerade. As we begin our scene with Francis Beaumont, Sheriff of Dublin, on a drive, heading towards the home and haven of the child of Delano, Monique, of his own clan. Francis, over the past night or so, has been trying to regularly keep up with all his clanmates. As sheriff, he's obligated to tend to the entire domain, but in truth, he will always be serving clan first. He has been making an effort to reach out to his clanmates, in particular those who are involved in the Red Listers terrorist attack upon the Elysium just 24 hours ago. So he has decided to pay Monique a visit, hoping to see if he can revive the more playful Toreador he met when they were first introduced and when they went about town to see the sights and a rather lackluster exhibit, the City Art Gallery. And he pulls up along the roadway in his rather large Range Rover, a vehicle that probably looks out of place due to its size, but one that blends into the night fairly well due to its thick black paint. With the lights off, it would probably be hard to see. The windows are tinted to perhaps a not entirely legal extent to hide the face of whoever may be inside. And out of it steps Francis, who, upon securing his vehicle, will walk towards Monique's haven. What does that haven look like?
Well, it's an apartment, quite spacious. Not too many rooms, like basically one main bedroom, big living room, unused kitchen that the housekeeper uses, and a small room for the housekeeper. And the main of the apartment is a big room in the back that she uses as an art studio. There are many paintings in in the apartment, many paintings of Delano specifically, in many different styles, because daddy and all that. um,
Vampire Dad is always watching.
yeah, don't make it creepy. Come on.
As
uh,
if having all these pictures of Delano and anyone else is not creepy.
yeah, it is creepy.
That bridge has been crossed for a
Don't
while
need
now.
to out creep it, okay? Like, I have made it a point to actually add Delano's face in many art reproductions of all pieces, just for the fuck of it. And it's probably a running gag between them. So yeah, and
He
and pretty much she is uh, reclusive right now in her bedroom, which is at the end of a long hallway on the right, next to the studio, pretty much.
Yeah, upon knocking the door and being greeted by the housemaid, he will, yeah, he will ask the housemaid to, to tell Monique that he is, uh, that he has come to pay her a visit. And if the housekeeper lets him in, he will tell her that he will just be waiting in the living room.
All right, so it's probably escort you to the living room so you can wait there, right?
Yeah.
So after like a couple of minutes, not more, she comes out of the bedroom. She's not in her best. Like she's pretty much only wearing a satin robe and she's barefoot. No makeup, nothing. And she will dismiss the housemaid to her chamber so they can talk pretty much.
I'm going to make a quick roll because I want to aura perception her. Yep, not a day goes by where Francis does not abuse his power.
What? Fail? Wait.
Okay, he gets 6 successes.
Okay.
He learns everything. Wait a second, I'm gonna look up just how much he can learn from that many successes.
How many? Six.
Well, the measurement normally only goes from 1 to 5, and then 6 is usually like some
Ten.
weird minor
Ten.
bonus. I'm actually just gonna double check.
Identify mixtures of color and pattern.
Um, 1 sec. 5 successes is, yeah, but basically, I kind of know how you're feeling, and in very great detail, and kind of what's uh,
Okay, so pretty much the aura goes from gray to orange, uh, and silver, like in this kind of. So you can see that she's pretty depressed at this point.
how does the aura react upon her seeing Francis?
um, it turns a bit violet.
Okay. Upon seeing you, he will kind of get up from his seat. Walk towards you and go, "Oh, Monique, are you okay?"
Hi, Francis. It's good of you to come.
He'll give
I'll
oh,
be better.
he'll give her a hug,
I should hug him back. Like, pretty tight, too.
keeping an eye on that aura the whole time.
That's cheating from the get go, you know that, right?
As if you play fair as a kindred
That's true, that's true.
when outmatched.
You know,
Cheat.
I could do the same, but I'm not doing it because I'm too polite.
Alright.
Please take a sit. And still take a seat beside him on the sofa, pretty much.
Yeah,
Would you like me to get you something?
it's quite all right. Uh, it might sound a bit antiquated given our condition, but you look like you could use a coffee.
Well, coffee's an indulgence I can no longer enjoy, I'm afraid. I don't know if coffee would fix it anyway. How have you been? She's pretty much trying to avoid the subject for now.
Better. I've seen to Katrina this evening. She's doing quite well. Seems before she came into my care that the clan has, or maybe she started with uh, the proper etiquette, but she seems to be handling herself well enough at the moment, and she seems to be quite nice. I wasn't sure what to expect upon first meeting her, but she's doing well, and I have a meeting arranged with Portia.
Oh, well, I guess you see her aura getting a bit brownish upon hearing the name.
Brown or dark green?
Wait. Uh, no, it's not envy. It's definitely not envy. it pretty much. I have plans, and she's gonna ruin them because I had prospects for if we're going to start an establishment to pretty much insert myself into it as like host and do things like that since everyone else have their own positions.
Yes, I was. I think with. Just stop to look at you for a moment. I think I was going to discuss with her plans, see if there's a way for us to not wind up competing with each other. The last thing I'd want is for each other to be fighting ourselves, particularly during these times.
Indeed, it is quite an interesting that this occurred right at this point in time. Quite a coincidence, huh?
It can be difficult to tell what is and isn't at times, but yes.
I don't know how to recover from this. I mean, after all is said and done, I mean, okay, I was able to keep a straight face there, but sometimes keeping this facade is very tiring. And I don't know, I mean, after many years, I actually remembered what fear feels like, and that disturbs me deeply.
Well, know that you can always let your hair down around me. If I'm being completely honest, there are times where I have been nervous or anxious in the time that I have been around. Usually, when it comes to things like Sabat, violent anarchs, rogue anti-tribute, but this, it has been a very long time since something truly intimidated me. I have so rarely felt small.
I can understand that feeling. I mean, I haven't felt so helpless since before my embrace, pretty much. And that grounds you up a bit, I suppose. Puts you in perspective that even this existence might not be as infinite as we may think. I've never been in such a dire situation before, I'll be honest with you. And,
That
well, among other things, like, I've never killed anyone, and I don't know if I could. I actually dread the moment that I will need to test myself, even if it's for my own survival. I, I don't know, I guess I'm being insecure about it lately.
no, taking a life is never simple. I say this as someone who is a soldier. It should never be simple or easy. Don't
But
try to force that on yourself.
if hesitation would mean uh, a loss for me, I don't know. I just don't know what to think about it. It's the first time that I actually had to think about being combat ready. I mean, I am armed generally. I know how to use a firearm, but it has been all in theory and all in good fun until now. And now things became increasingly real. And then it's this, and she points out to the tattoo on her chest. I don't know what this is, and this disturbs me too. Like, I know that Delano said we should trust him, but I don't trust this Tremere. I don't know who they are.
If I may be completely blunt, I believe your sire may have said that to save face.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
He,
Perhaps I shouldn't have put him in this position in the first place. It just, I don't know, still.
you never had the chance to choose your position. Don't blame yourself. If anything, I am to blame for this situation.
Uh, how so? I mean,
As sheriff, I was not able to adequately protect you. It is why, when the red lister appeared, I immediately sent a message to Delano to get you and Katrina out. This is not a conflict you should have been a part of. It is. These are not things you should have to be confronting now.
well, some things are out of our powers, however, and I don't blame you at all. It was out of your powers as well, at least for now. I mean, I have confidence in you. I want to believe that you'll be able to fix this.
It's encouraging.
I just hope that my belief will come to fruition because I don't even want to imagine the alternative to that. As for the Tremere uh, elder, I that might have been on me. Like I know that even though I'm technically free and my own vampire now, I always seek Delano's approval, and maybe I put him in a difficult position with the elder. I don't know, I wasn't in a very clear state of mind at the moment. I still am not.
Just take everything one night at a time. You don't need to rush things.
Yeah, that was always what I was doing, but now I feel I'm a bit left behind. I focus too much on my personal things that now everything else is piling up on me. Like, and okay, I guess I'm a bit spoiled, and Delano didn't really push me or encourage me to be more involved until recently, and that might be a problem. I don't have the experience to deal with these things. I mean, apart from trying to remain composed, I don't really know how else to react.
Don't sell yourself too short. After all, you have my attention.
She smiles.
Singer kind of like runs along hip to two.
You see, there's a bit of a change in her aura from like light, uh, wait, from vermilion to red to pink and back again.
Happy to angry to compassionate?
Not angry.
Oh, do you mean deep red?
Oh, wait, there are two reds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if it gives a descriptor for the color, like light green or dark green, then it means that the standard one is somewhere else.
Yeah, okay.
It's not organized all that well.
Yeah.
So how can I help dear Monique catch up to us then?
Well, I mean, I already feel a bit better. I mean, thank you for listening, I guess. It's at least some reassurance that I do have allies to turn to.
You have friends.
I mean, sometimes it's hard to be certain of who is a friend and who is not in our circles. Wouldn't you agree? There's
Many.
certainly. Please go on.
When you look at me, know that I am not just an ally to you, okay?
All right.
Kind of like has um, he kind of looks quite deeply into her when he says that. He seems quite serious.
So, how would I classify you then?
What does the aura look like?
um, Scrambled like static or white noise, and deep red and pink.
Not blue, damn it.
What's the blue? Wait. Who knows? That may be coming along later. I don't know. Depends.
Hmm, might be a bit soon then.
What? It's pretty anxious, pretty much. But in a good way.
It's a very good question, Monique. What would you like me to be? His hands kind of lie lazily on her shoulders. Um, and he looks a little bit playful.
Okay. Mm, she will lean her head on his shoulder pretty much, and she'll be thoughtful for a few moments, and she'll say, well, I guess that remains to be discovered, I suppose. And she will pretty much give him a look of mm, how to describe it. My brain is dead. Help me out here.
Good, the plan is working. Um,
Well, no, because it's not necessarily a plan at this moment. Like it is what it is her end goal, yes, but it's not that it's not genuine because she truly needs to feel, reassured and regain her confidence somehow.
climb out the ladder of emotions here.
Yeah. So
Gotta get the blue.
fine, get the fucking blue.
That aura will be an ocean by the time Francis is done.
We're supposed to keep it not weird, dude.
I love these terrible color-based jokes. It's great. It's half the reason why I love this power.
No, okay, no, it's fine. It's fine because it pretty much takes away the fucking weirdness and awkwardness of the scene, so that's good. But yeah, okay. That was a good one, by the way. Yeah.
I'm going to keep that one and use it for later.
So yeah, pretty much is like yeah. Says there, like yeah, you can go for it pretty much.
Oh, she's blue?
I told you you can have the blue, yeah.
Oh, well, no, it's dependent on what she authentically feels.
Well, at that point, it's completely believable to get to that level. I mean, they had a pretty deep convo.
So my question for you is she the color blue?
Yeah, she's blue.
Neat.
But deep red with blue, not just blue.
Oh yeah, of course, naturally. In which
Naturally.
case, yeah, he will lightly kiss her then.
And she will kiss him back.
Remains to be seen. That was fast.
Well, you know, it's the situation. You're actually taking advantage of the situation right here.
I know it. I'm being a terrible person.
Well, not necessarily, but using the aura thing is pretty, cheaty.
Yep. I'm just using a tool. It's fine.
Well, maybe she wants to do the same to see if your affection is genuine.
She can try.
So, what do I need to roll for that?
You roll perception, empathy, difficulty 8 minus your Auspex rating.
Uh, that's 3, my aspects. So, what do I roll exactly? Because I'm like shit at that.
You roll perception, empathy, difficulty. I think yours is 5 because you're Auspex 3.
Okay, so 6 times.
It would be hilarious if she failed this. If she
What's
botches, it'll be even better. I would laugh if it was a botch.
what's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 8 minus your Auspex rating.
So 5, okay.
Yeah.
Let's not fail this. Alright, guys.
Oh wow, you got 5 successes.
Okay, so what do I see?
Let's see. You see shades of pink, deep red, and violet that all kind of swirl in a frenetic, passionate motion.
I guess we're good.
And he does seem to be compassionate towards you. Not love struck, though. Don't see that in his aura.
Well, yeah, to be honest, wasn't expected. The question is, would he know that I'm uh picking?
No, it's all internal. Like you're not reaching out and touching his aura. You're just witnessing what's there. It's kind of like looking at something. Um, you're not interacting with it in any way. The only tell is that you'd maybe be staring at him for a few seconds.
Well, I thought I was staring at him already.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very difficult to tell when someone uses all specs.
Yeah, valid
Apart
points.
from like the higher levels where you start actively interacting with stuff. Like if you use telepathy on him, then he'd probably know. But if you're just reading his aura, like you're not reaching out to it. You're just witnessing what's already there. So
I don't have telepathy. I don't even know if I will even go for it. To be honest with you, I
well,
prefer to go on the presence route from now on, and we'll see.
in any case, he seems unaware. Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe.
Well, to be fair, I guess if he's doing it, he would probably expect that she would do it as well, right? I mean, he knows that they have similar abilities. Are they having a different session somewhere else?
What?
Nothing. I'm looking at the roles channel.
Oh, probably. Um, Francis just says when you kind of stare at him for a few seconds, he just says with a smile, "Take your time."
Wow, time is a strange concept lately, isn't it? Maybe we think we have a lot of time, but do we really? And he like looks at him, uh, wondering what how he'd reply to that.
He wraps his arms around her, um, pulls her in, and says, "Monique, you have all the time in the world. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise."
Well, I guess then we have to choose how we're going to spend it. And she pretty much caresses his face while talking to him.
With you, I have more than a few ideas.
Damn it, vampires don't blush.
Depends on her humanity rating. She might.
Well, I don't think she would. I mean, come on, she's French.
I feel like they blush all the time. Anyway, and he says that he kind of places his forehead against hers and gives her another kiss. Kisses a bit more deeply this time as well.
And she follows through with that as well. It's like a dance. He leads, she follows.
Yeah, his as they kiss, his hands kind of slide down her arms, and when they're done, um, he she briefly sees his fangs extend as he briefly bites into her neck, which of course grants the effects of the kiss and is the best thing ever.
Ooh. Wouldn't he then be bloodbound?
No, because he's not drinking.
Oh,
It's just kind of granting the sort of hypnotic ecstasy that the kiss provides.
you tease.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But also, you'll need to roll self control to actually remain in control during the effects of the kiss, because it's actually so potent it even affects supernaturals.
Okay, so I only roll the self control dice, or
Yeah, you just roll your self control. Difficulty's 8.
for fucking real now. God damn it. That's not gonna work, is it?
Literally an ocean.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Wait,
you remain in control.
no.
Barely.
Uh, does she? Oh, yeah, it's one. Okay.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, the question is, does she want to stay in control though?
Monique can always forfeit the role willingly.
We'll see. We'll see how this goes, I guess. But that's thoroughly enjoyable, you know? Let me think.
Yeah. He after about it only lasts a few seconds. He doesn't hold on too long, but he does release his fangs from her pretty quickly. He's really just kind of gauging her reaction.
Yeah. She's probably apprehensive of doing the same because she's afraid that she might, you know, drink his blood or something, and then it's gonna be more awkward. But hmm, she could actually try to seduce him by other means. Let's see.
Well, only one of us is blue right now.
Well, I'm not sure if it would be possible to turn him blue. To be honest with you, I don't because I don't know what takes him, and
It's
and
almost as if he's thrown the neonate through a loop.
yeah, and he's not human, so it's not gonna be. Oh, oops, my robe fell off or something. You know.
That's deep red. Only the cheapest would be called blue with that.
Wait, what's the cool blue? Wait. Blue. Where is that?
Blue is love struck.
Yeah, I know, but you said another blue.
No, just that blue. There's separate kinds of blue. There's light blue, which is calm. There's normal blue, which is love struck, and there's dark blue, which is suspicious.
Yeah. So okay, I think I should roll it, and then we'll see, and then we'll decide.
Okay.
Uh, What should I roll though? Uh,
What's she trying to roll? What's she trying to do?
Seduce him, of course.
Hmm. How's she go about it?
I,
This
I,
might not be a roll. Might just have to play it out.
I don't know. That's why I want to do the roll, see how that goes, and take it from there. Because I really have no clue what she could do that would possibly work on this dude. Like, yeah, like this is way out of her element. I mean, okay, with humans it's easy, very easy.
Well, it hasn't been too hard to make Francis lust after you, but getting him to fall in love with you might be a bit more significant. You can roll perception empathy on him, particularly with your aura perception, to see if you can get a better grasp on his character.
Hmm.
Then you may be able to find things that you may be able to leverage, or
Okay, let's do that.
at least find out what he doesn't like.
Okay, difficulty.
Hmm. You know, I'm actually going to roll against this because he's fairly guarded. It's not like this is the first time he's played this game, so. Okay, he gets 3 successes, so you have to get 4 successes to.
With difficulty, what, 7 and above?
Oh no, because you have all specs on, so the difficulty goes down for you.
So it goes to where?
4?
4 is good. 4 is good.
Yeah, you can definitely
Come on,
get
guys.
this. Wah, wah. That's actually really unfortunate. Okay, so I will, because you have aura perception on him, you got 5 successes. I will give you some things instead. It's not too hard uh, to get him to lust after someone, but he seems fairly. When you look into his aura, there is like you see because you see all the textures and shades. Like you see like the excitement, the desire, the which is it's really the excitement and the desire, which is kind of like the main shades of his aura right now. Um, with hints of vermilion and the compassion having largely faded away. Um, but what you do see is that like deep down in kind of like the core of his aura, there is lavender, there is conservativeness, there is caution, there is
So how do we get to loosen him up?
there is light green. There is mistrust in the deepest recesses of his self. It would appear. Um,
Mhm.
it
Right.
kind of occurs to you that this is probably a pretty ingrained because it's so deep into his aura, like it's at the kind of the center of his aura. Monique would understand kind of she's making out with him. Um, that he seems to be a pretty guarded person. He seems to be a very cautious person. He seems to be a very
That's true, but he has already admitted to her feeling terrified in, you know, the situation
yes,
they're in. So,
and that's what sticks out to you. What he has told you seems maybe it's just a trick. Maybe it's a game in that he's giving you just enough. Maybe he's giving you just enough information to work with to make you think that he trusts him. Or maybe he's just acting out of character. Maybe he is giving you more trust than he would normally give other people.
but I don't know which one it is.
That's where the failure in the role comes in. So she knows that as a person, he seems very guarded. Um, of course, that hasn't really stopped him from making a move on you. But yeah, as you kind of go through all that, you do realize you don't actually know that much about Francis.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You
But
know, Monique knows very little about Francis, in fact. But it's kind of hard to think in a formulaic fashion
yeah,
when
sitting
people's like
down, yeah.
tongues are fighting each other.
Well, I have a very inappropriate joke,
That's fine. We're all about inappropriate jokes here.
but I'll type it because it's way too inappropriate.
As hilarious as that is, mechanically she can't.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Uh,
oh my god.
okay, you have to give me something here because I have no idea how I would go about it.
She failed the role. She doesn't really know how to approach him. Like, to get him to feel the same way that she now feels about him, she might feel a little bit lost. Maybe she just needs to take her time with it. That's probably the best that she gathers from this. Because she failed the check, if she didn't, I'd probably give you a bit more. But she did unfortunately fail the check, so I'm only gonna give her so much. And that's he seems far more guarded than he has approached you with, yet than he has appeared to be. Yet at the same time, he has given you more trust than he would seemingly give the average person.
The question is, should she even try to make a move on him? Or she should just, you know, wait until she knows more. Although, the way I think about it is like, uh, maybe things will be a bit awkward after that, so it wouldn't be as easy to get the information she needs necessarily. I don't know. She's confused. So she's confused, and probably he can see that.
Yeah, her aura begins to become a bit mottled, um, like underneath all the shades of blue, and gotta get that blue in there. Underneath all the shades of blue and violet and deep red, um, they appear mottled. They appear, it's like kind of like white noise. It's no, that's anxious. It's mottled. The colors like shift in a puzzling, unnatural way, and this Francis still holding you. Slowly ceases holding Monique. Still ceases kissing Monique. He'll kind of look at her for a moment. Is something wrong?
Oh, nothing is wrong. No. um, I just, well, she doesn't really know how to uh explain the situation. I mean, she also has the two-level curse, so when she needs to explain things, she's like stuttering and whatnot. um, but she'll tell him, I, I don't want you to stop. and just leave it hanging there.
He kind of lifts her chin up a little bit and kisses her again. And kind of after a minute, ceases again. And, just says, "No, you can always tell me anything."
I I know. I trust you. I worry if you trust me. So how does he react?
It's a good question. That actually does get a bit of a reaction out of him, in a sense. That his eyes kind of close for about a good second. Um, you see his his distrust in his aura. You see the dark green, and you see the lavender. You see it become. You see it shrink, but it kind of doesn't really become any less intense. It just shrinks. It actually, it's almost like the sort of um, nervousness that um, Francis feels for a few seconds when you say that question. The static actually works to hide it. Um,
So she'll tell him, I would like you to be comfortable with me. Like, I know that your particular lifestyle doesn't allow for you to loosen up much, but I would like it when you're with me to let go a bit more. And she will kind of move in and embrace him.
he embraces her. He just says, "Okay."
Very laconic dude, you know?
Move this cold, dead heart.
Wait, does he have Flash of Life?
No, he doesn't, but he does have Master of Masquerade, so it's almost irrelevant because he appears human in everything he does. He just has pale skin.
Yeah, I don't have either of those.
Hmm. Yeah. So he doesn't look human in a sort of his skin tone, but he does act human. He blinks regularly. He breathes very naturally. He has very ordinary facial movements. Um, so much so that you honestly, if you didn't know he was a kindred, you honestly would mistake him for one. It's not a case of uncanny valley where some detached monster is just trying too hard. He does look genuinely human because of that merit. He does, or at least the way in which he behaves appears genuinely human.
Good to know. Well, now that I think about it, I should have taken Flesh of Life. It's helpful. Like, very. Because I don't know what the implication would be at. I'm like Humanity 7 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
The baseline.
So triggering Blush of Life would cost you a blood point, I think, at level 7.
Well, yeah, but in certain situation, it's worth it.
It's handy.
Very.
So after this embrace, what does Monique do?
Mm. I don't know. Like, I'm like, okay, so try to seduce him, but something tells me that the role will fail miserably. Because that's the luck tonight.
It's difficult.
Would that
You
would that be a contested role, or would that be
I think it would be. Because he's trying to seduce you, and in many ways he already has. Because of that sweet, sweet blue.
yeah,
Um,
but you know,
you called him slightly off guard of the whole trust thing.
would that give me any advantage on the role?
Um, I'd say it'd allow you to make it. Probably at a fairly high diff because you don't really know much about him. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah,
That's you know his name, and
I know his favorite artist.
you know his favorite artist, and that's about, that's about it.
No, that tells a lot about a man, you know.
And you know he's older than you,
Yeah,
kindred
but you have
years.
to keep in mind that I've been studying up on that artist a lot since our last meeting, so maybe that will tell me something. Okay, so what difficulty roll would that be?
I'd say it'd probably be like I'd probably put it at like a +1 diff or maybe a +2 diff because she doesn't really she's trying to seduce someone who's already seduced her, and she doesn't know much about the person she's trying to seduce, and that person's kind of actively
Well, I mean, yeah, but
trying to not fall into that snare.
there's the trust thing again. What would I roll for that? Uh,
Probably be like charisma subterfuge, appearance subterfuge. I'm gonna roll against it though because I'm a dick.
probably appearance subterfuge.
If she's leveraging how pretty she looks,
What's the dice pool that you'd have to roll for that?
it would be either appearance subterfuge or charisma subterfuge. I would definitely say appearance subterfuge is level 8, is difficulty 8 though, because it's much more surface level. You're like trying to get him all love struck and stuff. You know, he's already in the mood to be kissing you, so you're already that far. Well,
Okay. Fuck. I don't know if the dice like me today. Did you roll?
I haven't. I'm waiting for Monique.
You go first so I know what I have to deal with.
You have to beat 3 successes. It's doable. What are you using appearance, by the way?
I'm using appearance subterfuge.
Okay, yeah, that is difficult. That is a pretty hard roll to beat then.
Would presence help?
Using presence would affect him. He would have the chance to figure it out.
Okay, then no.
Yeah, if he knew it was happening to him, he could resist it. And also, obviously,
He would bolt. Probably.
I don't think he'd bolt. I think he'd stake you.
Yeah, I don't think she would even try to use disciplines on her own people, you know.
No,
I mean, okay, the aura thing, yeah, but he does it too. So
okay.
just
But
literally
that's not using a discipline on someone. That's not
yeah.
mentally affecting them. It's just kind of getting a grasp on their emotional state, which is.
Ah, fuck.
It's okay. You'll get opportunities as you get to know him.
What's the difficulty?
8, because you know so little about him. And you're using like a surface level way of trying to get to him, which is.
Well, I can't do it subdermally, can I?
Well, appearance is like very surface level, like charisma or something would be like more
Yeah, but would
trying.
charisma be part of a seduction though? I mean, I would probably think it of more of like impressing someone. Okay, if I would use charisma, what would the difficulty be?
Charisma would be div 7. I'm still putting. I'm not a player, so I can't technically dictate rolls, but uh, I'm just putting it at 1 higher because again, it's just Monique doesn't really know that much about the guy she's making out with, and he is putting on airs to try
Well,
and.
yeah, but I mean, he's a guy. Okay, let's do with charisma then.
He's
Uh,
also been doing this for a very long time.
and may the rolling gods be with us.
Oh wow, you get it. You beat him. Okay.
Well, I guess my charisma level is strong.
It is. Wow, okay. So yeah, I mean, you get a pretty heartfelt conversation out of him. Um, uh, it's weird. It's kind of like you stop all like the physical intimacy, and as you kind of holding each other, he kind of opens up to you a little bit, and in his aura, you see it's like the briefest spark of blue, but it fades almost as quickly.
Damn it, this guy's difficult.
He is.
I shall summon the vagina magic.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't even know if that kind of thing works on vampires, really. So.
Well, if you're humanity like 5 or less, probably not.
No, I'm at 7. I don't
But
know.
if you're high humanity, then it probably actually might stand a chance.
Yeah, but I don't know what his humanity level is.
Well, you don't know.
But he plays it pretty well.
But is that also just a guise?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, after a conversation in which he kind of talks to you, um, a little bit about his life. Um, he speaks of it in a very positive light, and it's kind of based around how he can. It's kind of based around like it's like this is why he's protector of Clan Toreador, and like why he's so confident, like he can protect you and all that stuff. Like he tries to base it around like he tries to impress you basically. Um, he tries to impress Monique and like make it go, oh wow, what a big strong man you are. Ooh. Um, uh,
I think we've already been past that point by now. I mean,
yeah, but you do learn that he's been around for about 200 years.
uh, would that like phase me? I don't know. Uh,
I
what's
don't
the
know.
what's the age of Delano? He's younger than you, right?
I don't know.
You don't know? Damn, I should know, but I don't know.
There you go. You don't know.
Well, I know his generation, but technically I should know because he's like my vampire daddy.
Well, that's all like OC information. So, um, but yeah, I mean, does it phase Monique? Uh,
I don't know. Let me ask Evan if I know his age.
because Francis does not seem phased, and he doesn't seem to carry his age with him. Like you've seen him. He knows how to drive. He dresses modern.
He knows how to use a cell phone.
Yeah, he's got the latest.
So yeah, that's around 2 centuries as well. So
About the same age.
yeah, so she's probably okay with it. Like it's not something that she finds weird anymore. Like yeah, I'm a newbie, but I've seen things. But would she be impressed though? Wanna roll it?
Sure. Want me to roll like his charisma, or like to see like if she's actually impressed or not?
Uh, yeah, let's do the contested one
Okay.
because I need to get my blood back, man.
But he only gets one success, so
And what would I roll for that?
manipulation is subterfuge.
Ooh, nice. I'm very sorry.
It's okay. I'm throwing you a bone.
I'm very sorry.
Normally, I wouldn't roll things like these out. So,
What's the difficulty?
6.
Okay.
Just say standard difficulty. Okay. Well, I mean,
Well,
you
I'm
beat him, so I don't know. It's like he's been around for a while. He has a long line of accomplishments, but it's not like something that kind of is super alluring to you. It's impressive for sure, but it's not.
yeah, like I was a lot more intrigued with his with the talk about art that we had the first time, like, that kind of thing. Because I'm a hopeless story door, of course.
Hmm.
So maybe she will use that instead and actually tell him that she has begun working on the piece that she promised him and see how that makes him feel.
Very vermilion, very happy. And he says, and here I am keeping you occupied from your work.
You know what they say, too much work and no play. And besides, I haven't been in a really good state of mind the past couple of days, and it would reflect on my work. I'm a lot better when my confidence is uplifted.
And are you any more confident now?
Well, yes. In fact, we're getting there. And she will kind of smile at him in a cunning way.
He'll he'll lean in. He kind of just kisses her neck. And his hand kind of runs along one of her thighs.
I'm just keeping myself from making a joke.
Such a jokester.
Look, man, it's a. Well, you prefer the awkwardness or the joking?
I'm not sure.
We're trying to do right by our characters here. So. Hmm. So she kind of wants to ask him to stick around, but she also fears that he won't do it because she still feels that he's kind of reserved. But he's supposed to be a Toreador. He's supposed to be fun and all.
It's true. Even though even though he is very physically intimate with Monique, he's always holding back something. He's like teasing her constantly.
Yeah, man. He's giving her blue balls right now. There, the jokes.
It's almost like he's trying to get the deep red and the blue out of her.
Well, I don't know. Teasing usually makes things worse.
He is specifically trying to make her more lust-struck and desirous.
Oh man, that's fucking difficult. I never had such a hard time. Mm. Okay, I think I have a plan. But it's stupid.
No, this is great. This is perfect. Go shoot.
Uh, she will ask him if he would agree for her to sketch him. Like a French girls. Sorry, no.
His aura just changes to mottled immediately.
To what?
To mottled. It's like a swirling mass of confusion.
Well, you know, my greatest goal is to capture beauty.
Are you saying you want me to stick around, Monique?
I mean,
It'd take a while.
I wouldn't want to keep you from your duties, but if you don't have anything better to do, I would love your company. Wink, wink. And I just hope he doesn't pull out an organizer, because that would be like a mood killer.
You know, there is nothing better to do than spend time with you, Monique.
Excellent.
But I don't see how you're going to be able to paint me.
Well, I'll be able to sketch you. And she will go, well, on the desk that's on the side in the living room, and she will take a sketch pad and a pencil, and she'll pretty much ask him to pose however he feels comfortable. Because really, guys, this is not a creep, okay? Not too much.
No, he as you go to pick up the pencil and turn to him, he kind of cups your face in his hands and kind of kisses you. What were you just saying about all work and no play?
Major deep red aura owner. Well, if you have something better to propose, I'm open. And she'll kind of run her hand down his chest, pretty much.
No, if I'm going to be posing for so many hours, I'd much rather do it on a bed.
Well, she's not gonna say anything. She'll just take his hand and pretty much walk him towards the hallway.
And I think that's all we can end our scene.
Yep.
Thank you, players for playing, players. Thank you, watchers, for watching. See you all next time.